Hey guys, Adam here, and I've got another wheel review coming at you again today. This time, it's a package all the way from the UK, and it is from ProSim. If you looked at the title on the video, it doesn't take much to figure out that this is a Precision Sim Engineering LMPS. I don't know what the PS stands for. This is not the LMX. That's at a price point that I don't feel comfortable spending that kind of money. It's about $4,000 plus US dollars to get it with the top paddles and the clutches and all. It's a little bit much for me to spend, but sim racing is a hobby, and if buying the LMPX or the LMX or the Grid P911 or whatever wheel it is that is going to make you enjoy your hobby, and if you have the means to do so, then by all means, please don't let me dissuade you from buying or not buying something. I'm just here to share an opinion. But with the LMPS that I have here, this is not something that's available on PSE's website. It's available through ProSim and Cool Performance. I know ProSim is definitely out of the UK. I believe ProSim is as well. And I think the wheel is only available through those two shops. From what I've been told, those three companies are close. Full disclosure, I paid for this wheel full price plus the import duties into the United States, which came out to around 45 US dollars, I believe. Not too shabby, actually. Nobody at ProSim, Cool Performance, or even Simon at PSE know that I'm doing this review. Nobody has any say in this review other than me, because that's the way I like to keep it. I always want to give my full and honest opinion. And before anybody posts in the comments, I am not going to compare, at least I'm going to try to not compare this wheel to the Grid Engineering P911. Mainly because this wheel does not have the RGB buttons, the backlit buttons that the P911 and the PSE LMX have. That's controlled via their ChromaWorks software. It's a different wheel. It's 280 millimeters versus 300. So I'm just gonna start right now. We're gonna open this thing up. We're gonna take a look at what's all in the box here. And if I hit the right button, there we go. We'll take a look at what's in the box. We'll see how the wheel gets, how it's shipped, how it arrives to you, and then I'll hook everything up and we'll drive a few laps and I will give you my full honest opinion. So let's go ahead and find my handy dandy X-Acto knife. Interesting touch. ProSim has their own custom packing tape. It's one of those little things. It's not necessary, but I do kind of like that a company kind of goes that extra mile. Let's get the DHL paperwork out of here, because that's nothing anybody else needs to know about except for me. There we go. And we're gonna slice the other end of this box open. Oh, packing peanuts. I'm sorry, guys. Anybody who uses packing peanuts loses points in my book. I despise packing peanuts. So far that's like the one thing I give, because these things are they're a nightmare. Like, I just want to go get my shop vac right now and clean them up. Okay, so let's see what it is we can find. This box is big, and opening up a box while sitting in my rig, a little snug sometimes. Okay, so what do we got here? We've got a USB-B to USB-A cable. It's a fairly sizable cable too. What is the length? Does it say what the length is on this? I mean, they ordered this from a company in China that I have ordered from myself personally. Doesn't say the length of the cable on it though, but I'm guessing, this is probably a 10-foot cable, maybe a little bit longer. So at least I know that I've ordered from this company before. I will not say their name because I don't want to persuade anybody to buy from one company or another when it comes to USB cables. But so it's a solid cable. All right. Oh, I just dropped a packing peanut. We've got another box inside this box. So let's see if I can contain the packing peanuts. In fact, I'm going to set this on the side here. Pardon me for a moment. Oh, my quick release gets in the way. Okay. This is turning out to be a lot more difficult than I thought. All right. Oh, you know what? I got some other stuff here off to the side. I got another white bag, sealed air. I don't know what's in here. Let's find out. Oh, this is the adapt. This is the thing that Simon makes. This is really I like these. Grid makes one. I've made a custom one down there behind my quick release. Oh, this is neat. Look at this. All right, ProSim. You guys are winning in the marketing department right now. This is kind of cool. This is a open wheel. I'm going to assume it's a Formula 2 car or something. It's an older car. But on the bottom, I don't know if the camera is going to pick that up because I've got the autofocus turned off. But it's got the ProSim logo and their website looks to be laser engraved onto the bottom of this car. And apologies if the camera's not picking that up. That's pretty cool. I absolutely dig that. But this is the adapter, yep, because this wheel does use a 5-volt power injector, similar to the LMX. And that's what this is here. No plate on this, though, to mount it to my rig. Interesting. Maybe there's one still further in the box. Let's see what else we've got in here on the side. There's some more stuff in here, too. All right, this looks to be plugs. Very cool. There we go. There's the American style plug, but basically an adapter for whatever country you are in. The guys at ProSim, there's the US version. The guys at ProSim are including all of those, so that is really cool to see. Whoa, this is a beefy power brick. Let's see. Can I get the specs on this? Output 5 volts, 2.5 amps. Wow, that's a big power brick for 5 volts and 2.5 amps. So that thing should be pretty sturdy. Where'd that packing peanut go? I dropped, I don't know. All right, let's see what else we got over here on the side. Just more packing peanuts. So let's go ahead and let's get this out. Okay, so this, I'm guessing, is the box. Oh, packing peanuts, evil. All right, be gone with you, peanut. All right, let's carefully with my X-Acto knife, not cut myself, just the tape. And there we go. Okay. Woohoo. Interesting box. Okay, I've never seen a wheel ship in a box like this before. All right, here we go. So it is packed in, I'm guessing this cardboard box was custom designed for this wheel because there's foam on the inside. The foam is actually glued to the cardboard, so that foam's not going anywhere. And the wheel is arrived nice and safe. All right, let me get this box out of the way. There it is. Precision Sim Engineering LMPS. All right, let's go over what I can tell you real quick. Initial impressions of the wheel before I get it bolted up. The polyurethane feels really good on the grips. It's softer than the Asher. I don't think I've got my grid wheel right here, my LM or my P911. The polyurethane on the grid wheel is softer. I know I said I wasn't going to compare. That's the one comparison I'm going to make. But the shape of these grips are also very nice. There's a little, oh, come on, camera, pick that up. There's a little kind of cutout right here in the back of the grip where your index finger would go. And I really like that. That is nice. The rotary encoders, I don't know any of the tech specs on this wheel, and I wish I did because I like to know that stuff. Why isn't this camera focusing? Let's see if I can maybe just put on autofocus and we'll see what happens. Maybe zoom it in a bit too. Hey, there we go. Look at that. Okay, that's a little nicer. But the rotary encoders are solid detents. There's 5 of them in the middle. I apologize. I feel like such a noob. Come on, camera. There we go. Stay focused. But the rotaries are nice. I've mentioned that. The buttons are a solid click. The button surrounds are nice. This is one of the things I like. So this wheel is kind of a replica of the Cosworth CCW Mark II. It's the wheel that is predominantly used in all of the LMP cars. A lot of open seaters use this Cosworth wheel. It is a 4.3-inch USB-D 480. My preferred display. I like the USB-D 480 colors over the Vocor colors, but that's just me and my old eyes. But the buttons are a solid click. They're supposed to be custom gel-coated button caps. Now, I don't know if that's the button caps themselves or the decals that they apply. And I don't know if ProSim's applying these decals or Simon is. I'll have to email them and ask, because I got one decal that is, if I hold the wheel straight, you can see the radio decal button here is kind of on an angle. But I love that because this wheel isn't backlit, these buttons aren't backlit like they are on the PSE LMX or the Grid P911, that they have chosen some bright colors here to make them stand out. In fact, those decals are actually really, really nice. I give excellent high marks for that. In fact, all of the decals on here, what they've got for the encoders, for the rotaries, these surrounds here, this front plate is carbon fiber. That's thick too. That's got to be a solid 5 mil carbon fiber plate. Body is definitely machined aluminum. Excellent stuff so far. All of the buttons right here, right at my thumbs, is what's to me is incredible. I love a 911 RSR wheel like the LMX or the P911, but if I have to like really move my thumb down here to hit some of those buttons, sometimes that doesn't work, so I use those for just things I wouldn't use all the time. I get to peel this. There's a plastic cover on here. That's one. Okay. I don't know if the mic's gonna pick it up. Oh, it's too quiet. Oh, that's a bummer, but I can't knock off points for that. I do like that they put a little plastic cover on there to keep the screen from getting scratched, a little protector. The button surrounds are definitely 3D printed. I'm guessing these are probably either SLS printed or MFJ, or is it MJF? I always get that one mixed up. But it's definitely not FDM printed. So the button surrounds are actually pretty nice. Looks like just 4 little Torx. I'm guessing bolts hold the button surrounds on. I know it's kind of hard to see with the camera, and I apologize. Let me maybe see if I can zoom it in a little more. And there we go. That's the extent of how this camera is going to zoom in. Tweak the focus here again. But yeah, I mean, it's a solid wheel up front at 280 millimeters. It feels narrow. I 300 is my sweet spot. 280 is a bit narrow for me. I apologize again for the focus. There we go. But I mean, I don't know. I like it. Okay, so let's take a look around back. So around back, I do have dual clutches. And the paddle shifters. So now this wheel is a 50.8 millimeter mount. Exposed electronics, not a huge fan of, but I'm going to put an HRS quick release. Thankfully, I did have an HRS quick release with a 50.8 millimeter bolt pattern. I do like that they include some bolts here already for you. That is nice. The cable itself on the wheel side is secured in. There's a bit of a tension relief there, so that would help. And it's a solid 5-pin Lumberg connector. So I wonder if I can use this with my existing. I don't want to open this up and look at the wiring pattern yet. Hopefully it's the standard USB pattern, and in which case I should be able to plug it into my existing, but I do need the 5 volt. Interesting though that I don't have, maybe I missed it somewhere in the packaging, but I don't have a way to take this and like bolt it directly to my rig. I could easily 3D print something here. That is not going to be a problem. So I'm not too concerned about that. It's just kind of one of those things where you think that it would be included. I'd imagine if you're buying a wheel like this, you've probably already got an 80/20 rig, but everybody's different, so that's fine. The clutch springs are nice and firm. The paddles are big, and the carbon that they cut these paddles from, this looks like 3mm carbon fiber. Absolutely solid pattern. Shifters are nice and crisp. It's a good solid pull. I like them. They're a little louder than I think I would like, but at the same time, no, they're about the same volume as my grid shifters. They're just a little higher pitched. Shifters are not adjustable. I can't move the paddles in or out, but I mean, they're in a good position for my fingers to be able to reach. I mean, I've got plenty of room here to reach in to get my hands. Had this been a true Cosworth replica, you would have the thumb dials here and here. But I mean, Simon's giving us 5 rotaries. These are not push button rotaries, which is fine. I don't like push button rotaries because then the detents always feel softer, but these are absolutely crisp clicks. Somebody's probably wondering by now why I haven't talked about what this is right here. This is your bite point adjustment for the dual clutch. This is kind of a bit of an old school mentality. It's not even old school because it's only been, so the first time I saw a potentiometer bite point adjustment was on one of Asher's original wheels. It was down here on one of the clutch paddles. This is up here. So I kind of like that if I need to adjust the clutch bite point, if I'm doing some testing, you guys can't see that. I could just reach over the top of the wheel, quickly tweak that, and I'm good to go. So there's no firmware I need to worry about. I don't need to go into any additional software. I just reach in back behind the wheel and I go. But so far, I feel like I should have more to talk about with this wheel. But I think really I am impressed so far with the quality here. I like that the potentiometer is connected through to a carbon fiber plate. Down here, the shifters, behind the shifters is a carbon fiber plate as well. Now, I do know that if you order this wheel without the shifters, the carbon fiber plate is still there with the option to then, order the shifters at a later date and you can just bolt them on. I'd assume probably the same bolt pattern as just every other shifter I've ever seen. So if you ordered this wheel without shifters and you wanted to add the Asher shifter or clutch paddles after, I'd imagine you'd probably be able to do that. But this is all machined aluminum right in here. And it's, so far, the only complaint I have about this wheel as of right now is the open electronics. But like I said, the HRS quick release wheel side mount is going to cover that up. That should keep those protected, but not that this isn't going in a real car. This has no chance of getting wet unless my basement floods under 8 feet of water. And in that case, I've got bigger things to worry about than losing a wheel for sim racing. So really, there should be no issues with the exposed electronics there. So that's all I've got for this portion of the review. This is just the unboxing. I'm going to go ahead and, before I even mount this wheel to the rig, I'm going to do a quick design and 3D print for this. In fact, I think that because this is a Lumberg connector, it's a 5-pin. My custom carbon fiber mount that I built over here is a 5-pin Lumberg. I'm willing to bet I can utilize that plate for this. I'm going to try that. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of all of this. I'm going to get the quick release mounted. But so far, I am very much liking what PSE and ProSim and Cool Performance. I don't know who to fully give credit to for this wheel. I don't know if this is Simon's design, if this is somebody at ProSim or Cool Performance asked this. If anybody knows, please post in the comments below. I don't see a lot of information out there about precision sim engineering and Simon. I see a lot of posts on Instagram of people using his wheels, but I don't see a lot of people talking about his wheels, which I find interesting. And that's kind of why I wanted to do this for you guys here today, because I've got a fair selection of quality high-end sim wheels. And so I feel like I can give an honest comparison, especially because I spent my own money on this, to some of those other wheels and whether or not I would recommend it. And as of right now, my recommendation is if you are looking for a 280 millimeter wheel with, dual clutches. Those clutch springs are stiff. That's interesting. And a 4.3 inch display, 16 LEDs across the top, 5 rotary encoders, 12 buttons. I mean, so far I am absolutely pleased with this wheel with, like I said, just the one kind of little, but that's a me thing. I mean, there's probably a very valid reason why that was done. So I just don't know quite why, but otherwise I love the vinyl, the graphics on the front of this wheel. This is really cool because, I mean, this is the lighting that I have on is the lighting I have on for 99% of the races I do. And with the wheel right here, I can easily see at a quick glance. And because each of these are 5 very distinct colors, I can, out of the corner of my eye, while racing, go quickly grab and adjust whichever one I need to adjust. So I like that. Very well thought out from the design aspect. So far, I am liking everything I am seeing. Let me go ahead and get everything mounted up to the rig, and I will be back. We'll drive some laps in the Dallara P217, because, I mean, this is the wheel that is kind of in that car, or a replica of it around Sebring, and we'll see how well the grip shape works. So far, it is really comfortable, I have to say. My favorite as of today is still the Grid P911 grips, and they're both really good. The grips on the Grid engineering wheel are a little softer, but this one has, the only thing this one doesn't have, not a complaint for my hands though, is that kind of that channel for the thumb to sit in. If you go and you Google the Cosworth CCW Mark II wheel, you'll see that there is a little channel that your thumb would sit into. But I mean, all in all, this isn't intended to be a direct replica. I will say that it's a facsimile of it, but it's a very well thought out, very good design so far. So kudos to Simon at PSE or whoever at ProSim or Cool Performance, whoever it was that came up with this wheel, outside of the slightly angled sticker, but I bet you I can probably rotate the button a little bit and fix that, the button cap. Not a big deal. I'm really liking what I'm seeing. So all right, so I'll be back in a few minutes. We'll drive some laps, and I'll let you know how the wheel feels on the bumps at Sebring. All right, we are in the car, the Dallara P217 at Sebring. I've got the wheel up. Let's just go ahead and bounce over to this camera here so you can see it. Something really interesting that stood out. So when this wheel arrives from ProSim or Cool Performance or PSE, power injector is included. This is a 5-volt power injector. USB is generally around 5 volts, but the one thing that seems to be commonplace among all wheels that I have seen, the Grid P911, the GSI Formula Pro Elite, all of those wheels that use a USB-D 480 display with LEDs and a whole bunch of buttons, every one of those wheels have required a power injector in order to ensure that the wheels are getting enough juice to power everything that's on the wheel. Now you can see right here, my wheel is hooked up without the power injector. So I'm not going to crack the wheel open because there's no need. Everything's working fine, and that's what matters to me. I don't need to see how Simon has done whatever it is he's done on the inside of this wheel. But right now, I am running this wheel, the cable, straight out the back to my custom 5-pin Lumberg mount. Sorry, that is just a carbon fiber plate. I'll pull that off here in a minute and I'll show you on camera what that is. But then from there, it is straight into the FebSmart PCIe USB board that I use to get around the AMD USB issues. I am absolutely floored that all of this is working without issue, without the power injector. So good on Simon and the guys at Cool Performance and ProSim for figuring out. I don't know who managed to figure it out, but I am incredibly impressed that somebody has a wheel with all of this working. I mean, okay, so this isn't exactly going to be a true statement, but really the only difference between this wheel and my GSI Formula Pro Elite, which is mounted up on the wall behind me, the GSI has a funky switch. But the GSI, I have to use my power injector to make that wheel work properly, which not a big deal. It's one extra plug, and everything works fine as it should. But I'm absolutely amazed that they've got this wheel working without this, and I'm just plugged directly into, like I said, my PCI Express USB card. I'm totally floored. I'm highly impressed. So great work there, guys. However you've managed to make that happen. Kudos, because I was fully expecting to have to create a plate for that power injector to mount it up to my rig, and I didn't. I used this wheel for the IMSA Endurance at Watkins Glen. I ran a stint and a half, had no issues whatsoever. Let's just go ahead and run a little bit around the bumps at Sebring here, and I'll talk a little more. I mean, I feel like I should have more to say about this wheel. And I do have one interesting thing that I'll show. Is right now I've got the LEDs at 20%. They are incredibly bright. But the grips are very nice. Initially I thought that without having that little channel for my thumb to properly rest in, that the grips kind of wouldn't feel so comfortable when driving, but that little notch that's on the back that I showed earlier that my index finger is resting on top of really helps. I get plenty of grip with that notch. The durometer of the polyurethane is probably a little harder than I would prefer, but that is totally a subjective statement. Don't let my preference for how soft or firm a grip should feel really persuade you. But all in all, I mean, it is downshifted one too many. All in all, it's a pretty solid piece. I mean, while driving, I can feel the detents on the rotaries. I can feel button clicks when I adjust my brake bias there. I mean, everything works as it should, and the button clicks are fairly audible too. I mean, there is a nice you can actually feel when you go past that click point. It's not a solid click, but it's enough there to where you can feel it. But as I drive through the bumps in Sunset, the wheel is shaking, but it's not wanting to be pulled from my hand. So the grips are actually really nice. Using my my Moradness gloves, I absolutely love these gloves. But let's go ahead. There's one more thing I want to talk about here with this wheel. I'm going to go ahead and pull up SimHub. Where's SimHub? There it is. All right, I'm going to move it over to this screen, and then we're going to do this. Oh no, I don't have SimHub here real quick. Let's change this. Here we go. Oh, that's big. There we go. Okay, so when you're in SimHub and you go to Dash Studio USB-D 480 and you find your display here in this drop down, which is the 0049, you click this. This is how you get whatever dash you want to display on this specific screen, especially if you're running a dual monitor setup like I am. Now, the one interesting thing is, well, I don't like that OBS is doing this to me right now. There we go. That's better. Okay, so now this is the thing about this wheel that really threw me off. And it took me just a few seconds to figure out the problem. But if you go here to Arduino and RGB LEDs and you load up a profile from here, it will not display the LED profile on this wheel. In order to get the LEDs on this wheel to work, you have to go back to Dash Studio, USB-D 480, find the screen that you're on, and then you have to check this box right here, Precision Sim Engineering DDU, or if you had the LMX, I'm assuming you would check this box right here, and then this is where you would update your LED profile. Now I've got a modified version of the profile. When you check this, you get a very bare bones basic profile for this wheel. I'm assuming it might be the same for the LMX. I haven't tried to look at that profile yet to see what is in there, but it's just very basic LEDs out to in and a couple of other things, and it didn't line up with whatever car I was in. I mean, which has only been the Dallara that I've been testing this wheel with, and it just it was meh at best. So really all you have to do though is edit that profile, take your existing 16 LED profile that you already have if you have one, or just go take one, the one that I've posted previously for the GSI Formula Pro Elite. You can just copy that entire profile, put all of those cars into a folder, or just the cars that you want, edit this profile, paste them in there. Takes a few seconds worth of work, but now when you want these LEDs to work, all you have to do is come over here and check this box. If I uncheck it, you can see the LEDs go off. As soon as I turn it back on, it searches for the device. Now, part of me is wondering that because PSE have worked with SimHub to kind of create this module that is very specific to whatever board is inside of here. I don't know if they're using a specific model of Arduino or however it is they're driving the RGB LEDs. Perhaps maybe because whatever did in some previous update for SimHub that allows these LEDs to be driven more efficiently, and that's why I can run this without the power injector. I don't know. I'm gonna send an email to Simon though, just to see if maybe he can help me better understand how that is. Simon over at PSE, that is. If Simon replies with some sort of explanation, I will update this video, and there'll be some more of me just kind of rambling on at the end to go over whatever Simon had mentioned. But so I'm here. I'm looking at the end of looking at this wheel, and I'm kind of torn because it is an incredible wheel. I mean, aesthetically, it is very pleasing. The vinyl that they have chosen here with the carbon fiber that is cut out right here. It's hard to see on camera, but these vinyl, this is recessed in. There's about 1.5 millimeters milled out of the carbon fiber, and then the decal is placed, which I think is a really cool touch. So aesthetically, the wheel is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, the machining on the aluminum body here is beautiful. There's a little step down here. I really like it. The potentiometer here to adjust the clutch bite point is kind of actually nicer than I thought it would be without having to have software or firmware to do it. Clutch paddles are a little big, but that's just a preference of mine. The shifters are solid. I can't think of any real negatives about this wheel other than the price. This wheel does come in with shipping and taxes and import duties and all of that stuff. This wheel costs just a little over $3,300 US, and that's not cheap. Now, it is the only, well, I don't want to say it's the only. There are a couple of other companies out there. But if you wanted a Cosworth CCW Mark II replica, 280 millimeter wide wheel with a display with LEDs, 6 buttons, easily accessible from my small thumbs. I don't have to do anything. I can get to all 6 buttons without having to like move my hands down here to press some lower buttons. I can't say don't buy this wheel, but it is not a cheap wheel. I think that if Simon could find a way to bring the price point on this wheel down to say around $2,000 US, and I know that's asking a lot to be cut off. I don't know what he has in his production methods. I don't know who is machining these bodies. I don't know if they're being done somewhere over in, you know, China or Japan, if he's having this done right in the UK. I mean, whoever is doing the machining on these bodies is doing an incredible job. I mean, the way some of this stuff is recessed for the shifters, and then the clutch is being set on a carbon fiber plate. It's an absolute quality wheel. I can't find one flaw in this whatsoever outside of that price. So if with all hobbies, buy what makes you happy. I'm not going to say don't buy it because it's a great wheel, but it's expensive. And if you're really looking for that 280 mil Cosworth replica wheel, I can't think of a better option that's available right now out there. There are a couple of other companies. There's Enato, I think I'm pronouncing that wrong. There's a company out of Spain that's making a wheel similar to this, only they use 4 rotaries at the bottom, not 5 in the middle. There's no funky switch on theirs as well, but I don't know if theirs is aluminum. I think maybe the body is 3D printed. I'm not sure, but you know, I'm just gonna say kudos to PSE on a quality wheel here. I just wish it wasn't so expensive, and I know I've been repetitive in saying that, but that's the truth. It's the only downside I can give to this wheel. I do absolutely enjoy it. Like it's really cool. The gel button caps are really neat. They are bright. They're not backlit, but the vinyl that's on top of here, whatever this material is that is, you know, making up these gel caps, is definitely reflective enough so that even when I'm here in my basement and the lighting's a little dim at night, I can still tell what button's what. And even if I can't see the buttons because there's 6 of them on each side and they're so close to my thumb, I know what's what. And having the various button surrounds too, like these 2 here are raised a little higher, the middle ones aren't, and that makes it really nice. In fact, both of these button surrounds on each side, so all 4, are exactly the same. So the outer ones have a slightly more raised edge around the button cap, the middle ones aren't. So just it really helps with muscle memory. So there's a lot of really good things in the design of this wheel that I like, and I'm hoping that I will get to use this wheel a little more in the coming month. And that's it. That's all I've got. Go check out, I'll put a link to PSE, Cool Performance, Pro Sim, all down in the description below. If there's something about this wheel that I didn't cover here today that you want to know, just leave a little comment down there below and I will respond as quickly as I can. If you like me doing these review videos, please give me a thumbs up and I will try to do more as time allows. We're getting into 2022 now. Happy New Year to everybody. And I've got a lot of SimHub content coming as well. So until next time, everybody stay safe out there and we will see you later.